better shake your booties for black
NERDSoul. Yes, Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta. Hold it down, bring you the street geek and NERDSoul. And I am here with Marqueeda LaStar, Black Girl Nerds representing. What's up?
Right. Oh my goodness. This
Man.
episode,
Ooh.
man.
Episode
it's
7.
getting heavy. Episode 7.
Yo.
It's getting real heavy.
Super heavy.
The plot lines, they're starting to spin. Actually, they come together a lot.
Yeah,
they are
yeah.
keeping this clever way of intertwining, like Daredevil. We have the night nurse, and so there's a lot going on with the night nurse, and that keeps coming up. But also, it just you're just learning about what the characters. Oh, Cottonmouth. Let it be known that he knows who Luke Cage is.
Yes.
That was a big one.
Finally figured that out.
Yeah, exactly, because he needs some dirt, and he needs some dirt right quick. So Shades all of a sudden had like an epiphany moment. I don't think it was even in this episode. I think it's the last episode. Just so much other things were going on in that episode. We didn't quite mention it. But so it comes back to haunt him that Shades finally remembers this dude from Seagate Prison.
Yes.
And so that lets... Shades is like, let's talk about Shades. Shades is this cool character who was introduced pretty early on, and he's like the character.
Unlike the cut,
right? But unlike Black Mariah, until now, we'll get to that.
Yes,
where she has this significant but small character, and you kind of sometimes forget what's going on or like her name and stuff. Yeah. Shades is like got the same amount of like face time. The parts are about the same, and they're also very significant to keep the plot line and story going. But when he's there, he steals the scene. He's very
smooth. Yes. Perfect. Yeah,
exactly.
Perfect.
He
very
slides
smooth.
in there. He does his thing, and then he slide back out. And you remember, you're like, oh, Shades. You're like, excited about him because it's hard to even fault the guy because he's usually like this reprieve. Even though he's gangster, he's down to do whatever.
Yes, he is.
There's something about how he handles his business that just makes you kind of respect it. You shouldn't, but
I've always liked those characters that kind of like, slink around in the dark and stuff.
And think about it, like we don't really see him doing actual dirt except for the flashbacks and Seagate. He's doing a lot of finessing and talking, and he just takes
between Diamondback and here and all that.
We ain't even met Diamondback, but he make Diamondback sound like he got his shit together. Like Definitely. If he's got to do like Shades in his company. And for those who are not familiar with Luke Cage canon, Shades is actually in the canon from the 70s up until the 80s. He used to be a road dog of Luke Cage, but they've kind of changed the character completely here. So it's one of those like Easter eggs, but it's a great example of how they take something that's canon and kind of switch down to make this very awesome narrative that just winds everything together.
Now, also, they get into the politics in this episode.
Right.
And they get into the family moment of this episode. Now, the politics, I'll pare this down really quick for you guys. The bottom line is, Black Mariah's character, the councilwoman is in tons of trouble. Her party wants her to resign quickly due to all of this dirt that's coming out. Right. And it's just bad for the vote in general.
Right.
Usually whenever politicians have some issues, they always resign because it's just bad for the party. No matter what you're doing.
Exactly.
Then we also get a lot of backstory that leads into the main issue of this episode.
Right.
When you have Cottonmouth and Black Mariah, and they get into a disagreement over how Luke Cage has been handled. And unfortunately, they get into a tussle. Black Mariah shows her blackness.
And she comes out on top. And she went from that character where you're like, I'm struggling to remember old girl's name. Yeah. And she's so docile with it.
And now you know.
And now you know. Because in the earlier flashback, she looks like she's super protected. Yes. Then all of a sudden it gets dropped on us that she's been molested by the uncle.
Yes.
And that, Cottonmouth wanted to be actually a musician, a pianist. And he wanted to do piano. And he couldn't do that because they were like boys in the family. Those streets.
They gotta do dirt.
And so I was saying why they couldn't do like more mafia style. You got artists in the family. You let him go do art. You let him be a pretty flower.
He can't do that.
That's not for him. But unfortunately, I think where they slipped up as a family, Mother Mabel. I mean, you'll find out about Mother Mabel. Is where she slipped up, and she forced her very artistic nephew into the life that probably wasn't for him. he rose to the occasion.
Of
that
course.
What cost? It seems like it's costing him a lot now.
And it's cost him everything now.
Everything now on the long game. Like sometimes we gotta look past the instant right in front of us in the long game.
Because he's in trouble.
So
he's not in trouble no more.
He's not in trouble no more. He
ain't never going to be in trouble.
He ain't never going to.
So the cool thing is that Shade slides in after he dies, and we find out that they're going to pin this.
Was in the cut.
Yeah, it's like he was waiting for it. And they're going to pin this on Luke Cage. And not only did they pin this on Luke Cage, but at the end of the episode, he gets shot by the sniper.
Right.
With that special bullet.
Which
and now
might cause a problem with their whole blame it on Luke Cage. You know, if he's somewhere with somebody else getting shot, he can't really kill Cottonmouth.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be a
that's
problem.
A quick little way that they just tied that up before he became a problem. Because I was like, that's a runaway train.
Yeah.
That I said, you let it go too far. Like, how are they going to prove that he didn't do it?
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, he was busy in a park
like
somewhere getting
he was
shot.
too busy getting almost killed
and stuff. So there are ways. There are, if you listen to the canon, there are ways that Luke Cage supposedly can be penetrated. So we're really eager what they're
gonna do.
They're gonna do, how they're gonna explain it. But I know for medical purposes, there's an overpowered laser that they had to use to help him out and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's going to work to that, but I did want to point that out to the people who are up on their comics or whatever. Talk about the laser.
Well, all of you guys that are into the comics, jump in the comments below right now. Holla at us about this episode. We enjoyed it, especially the way they ended it out. We're loving Shades. We're loving Black Mariah. So get down there, holla at us, and never forget to hit up blackgirlnerds.com and then holla at me at thatnerdsoul.com. And always like, comment, subscribe, and share it to all your friends.
Tell all your friends. We need them.
You heard her.
Let them know.
Yes. So, of course, we're going to go watch episode 8, and we are out of here. Peace.
All right, deuce.